Yeah, I want to see if I can understand the surrender part a little bit more. So basically, one of the things I wrote down was you move towards your fears and you allow them to move into you, but they don't really necessarily influence you per se. So I'm trying to think of like what's the dialogue sound like when your feet are hurting like a son of a gun and your hamstrings or your groins are destroyed. Like what does that sound like in your head?
A lot of it is just is I don't complain,
Mm.
because if I did complain, no one's there to listen. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Okay, it hurts. Okay, yeah, so what? I get it. It hurts. It's like if something's not going to be serving me positively in that moment, then I try not to let it. I try not to let it, even come into my mindset. Another thing is I don't speak these things, kind of into existence. That if I have these concerns, then maybe I'll have it in my mind. But there's a big difference, and some people touch base on it or touch on this, is that there's a tremendous difference where when you're thinking something versus you start speaking it. And when you speak it, you bring it into existence, you give it even more power and more influence over you.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think what you said, if a thought pattern doesn't serve you, then don't think it. Then focus on something else. Find a different thought pattern that is going to be useful. It's like, yeah, this hurts, but it doesn't do me any good to just continually remind myself that this hurts and that I'm in a lot of pain. Let's focus on something else so that this doesn't influence me. I love that.
Yeah, actually, and just quickly on that is it's important. It's one thing to kind of say it, and it's one thing to kind of do it. Is to say, "Oh, I'm just going to put this out of my mind." Well, I mean, look, I've been doing this stuff long enough that can be very difficult at points. So, that's just one thing to keep in mind, is that it takes time, it takes practice. You're not always going to be successful, because look, I wasn't doing that crossing where I was in just some great mood, kind of floating through it and say, "Oh, I'm not thinking the right things right now, so I'm just going to think about something different that positively serves me." But one thing that we talk about is, what do you surrender into? And what we believe is you surrender into the unknown. And the unknown, what is the unknown? The unknown is just finding a new way of serving your needs and meeting your needs in a more positive way. Because too often in life is we walk through, we go through life doing the same things, and even though it doesn't serve us, we continue to do them. And the reason we do it is because, not that we're not sick and tired of whatever these things aren't fulfilling us, but we're scared of trying something in a new way, which is, in my mind, the unknown. So that's what you kind of have to force yourself, if you reach that point of saying, listen, I don't know exactly how to fulfill myself in new ways, or what it's going to look like, or what it's going to feel like, but I know it's got to be better than this, or I'm willing to try to think that it's better than this. So you kind of move in those ways. And I found more often than not, even though it's painful and difficult work, it generally reaps rewards and puts me in a better position to be successful.
I love that.